does Facebook need a phone at this point? They now have an app store. Do they need a place for the user to put all of those apps, and is it just a matter of time before we'll see that?
I think that's an excellent question. I actually don't think that they need a phone. I mean, to get into the phone business is a whole can of worms that Facebook doesn't necessarily want to get involved in. So they can be very successful on Google without needing to create their own.
Trying to get long at 4:31.
They're not there yet.
Right, and then of course we'll all expect an update on Facebook's first quarterly earnings as a public company. Shandy, Julia, thanks so much for being with us. And of course later today on the Fast Money.
Okay, 4:31. I got 4:31. Yeah, went up here at 4:38. 15-point trailing stop here.
President obviously late for his statement, but he is set to issue one on the economy in a couple of moments. We'll bring you that live from Washington in just a moment.
We got the president speaking on the economy. Hopefully that won't tank it.
This country was built by working people. Machines, tools, people making stuff.
Companies have to invest in making things. Infrastructure, construction, production.
We need it now more than ever.
Chevron's putting more
If we get our first target here,
in pipes, cement.
our stop will be moved to 12,427. 427.
That make a real difference.
But we need our first target. This was a trigger long, and we bought on a little bit of a pullback, got 12,431.
And is scalable as far as the mind can see. Our cloud is the cloud other clouds look up to. Welcome to the Upper Net. J.D. Power and Associates has just named the Hyundai
Program manager was 33.
among large premium cars.
Right here.
Apparently, it's the smart money alternative to expensive luxury sedans.
Been as high as 36.
And your money's
Has not moved a huge amount for us.
from Hyundai.
Hopefully the president speaking on the economy is not going to adversely affect this trade. Okay, that's our 15-point trailing stop at 421. So got within 1 point there. We're target. 427.
We now offer phone service as low as $1.70 a month with Magic Jack Plus. That's $19.95 a year. $19.95 a year. No computer needed. Nothing changes. And now keep your old phone number. Get Magic Jack Plus at Radio Shack.
Careful. Pringles are bursting with more flavor.
Taking one off at break even here.
Bursting with more flavor.
And I'll put one at 427. Get rid of this.
President Clinton was notoriously late for everything. 43, President George W. Bush notoriously on time. President Obama's kind of a mix. Sometimes he's late for us. Other times he'll show up early, unexpected. Today he happens
Looking for 427.
Minutes late, in fact. We were expecting a 10:15 start time for this address on the economy. And we'll see when he does show up. Of course, we'll bring that to you as soon as he begins to speak. Okay,
728.
Just to quickly briefly touch on where we are with the markets. The main theme coming out of world markets.
Okay, well, they got one now.
Time in Asia is this bearishness on commodities and on oil in particular. A bearish view of what Bernanke was saying. That's how they interpreted it in Asia. As of course we await the China data in that rate cut.
Stopped at 427.
Over to Chicago and get more on the markets. Bobby Ascio joins us, founder of TraderOutlook.com and the CME. Good morning. Let's talk about oil.
Ayachino.
And as soon as I saw it, I was like, no.
Simon, let's have a call after this. Let's have a call. We'll just go over my name.
Let's move our target to 50.
Talk to me about oil. These are big losses today.
Move your target to 10 points.
Weakness is interesting to me because it's not so much about the commodity story as it is about the effect it can have in the overall market, the overall economy. And that
seemed to play into a little bit better consumer spending at a time when it wasn't really expected. And I think you could have that same effect from the low crude prices. There are not buyers of crude at these prices. It's really got sort of a vacuum down. And with the summer driving season starting, that could potentially, it's a small positive for equities, but it could take people into higher consumer spending at a time when you would expect it to be spent on gas.
We took one of our contracts off at break even as the price movement stalled out on us.
Can they count on that for the next 3 months?
You know, that's a tough question.
And we're looking for 10 points here.
Driven more by potential global economic weakness, and that obviously is being.
There was a little bit of a move up.
We're seeing a little bit of concerted central bank action.
Guys, go ahead. Move your stop here now. Break even.
Cheerleader for the same sort of effect. I think he'll probably be pressured into that over time.
So my stop's at 431. Looking for 441.
Now we're looking at a bearish story on oil and commodities in general. You know, Bob, it would have been a tall order for him to start talking.
Pay for your trade. I got my 441. Nice trade.
And it makes my job tougher. Which is why, since I've been in office,
the advice that he offered for the Europeans underscored the inability of the administration.
We got short just one contract here because I'm really kind of considering this counter trend at this point. I'm going to take 2 contracts long. I'm only taking 1 short. And very tight stop here. Looking for 458.
In the Congress to enact those, and now he's advising Europe to do the same, and of course they're having a comparable difficulty. I think we also have to take note, given the intensity of focus on this lately, the president also
Shorted only 1 contract on purpose.
advanced by administration critics, including Republicans and some Democrats, that national security information was purposely leaked for stories in the New York Times that made him look strong in his re-election campaign. He said it's offensive and wrong to think that they did that on purpose, and he suggested there was an investigation going on.
John, I wonder if by the end of the weekend this will look like a more.
We've had 3 22-point winning trades today. 1 minus 24, 1 plus 2, and 1 plus 3. So it's been a good day.
The Spanish banks. I say it because we know that the IMF board is meeting today. Draghi, the ECB president at that slick, we know that they're talking about the Spanish banks, and he very explicitly said 2 things. The first was that the fate of the US economy is linked to what happens in Europe, and he then secondly went on to say very clearly that the French and the Spanish are not the same as the.
So we have had enough of a retracement here for a long entry.
Chaotic markets. That to me indicates that the United States might be about to do a U-turn and commit American money as part of the IMF to a Spanish solution. What do you think?
Well, the United States is a major contributor to the IMF, and so if the IMF steps up and takes
I'll go ahead and take the 5-point loss.
You know, American money is implicated, but I would be
I was considering bringing that to break even. And let's try to get out of here now at 35.
economic difficulties and fiscal difficulties at home.
What's our low, man?
John, thanks so much.
We need 61. It got 63. We'll try to get a couple more points there.
Happy weekend.
We'll see you soon. Yes, thanks. And Simon, you're going to be here for the next hour as well.
I'll be very happy with 7 points here.
Meanwhile, let's get to the CME Group and Rick Santelli with the Friday edition of the Santelli Exchange. Good morning, Rick.
Okay.
Well, good morning, Carl. You know, we're going to do something different today. We're going
Guys, bring your stop to break even here. I don't want to lose any money on this trade.
I used to love technical analysis when I was a trader, and the reason I liked it.
And as I said, stops our target 61. I really this is getting ready to turn back up.
Model. You know, Alan Greenspan, when he was on the Squawk Box show last week, said even if you have
We'll be looking for a trader long.
China making right decisions, in the end, it's the aggregate decision process that always works the best. Well, why does that work the best?
We'll be looking for a trigger long.
Somewhat consistent technical analysis should work, and indeed it does. And there's a couple of things that I think are very important. Whether you're looking at a 2-minute chart, 5-minute chart, 10-minute chart, 10-year chart, the patterns don't know time. So even though it was Einstein that said time is relative, it is really true with technical analysis.
They got to 462. We brought our stop to break even. We've got this is definitely with a counter trend short. At least very short term. It's counter trend, definitely.
Retracements are
Fibonacci numbers, and we've all seen them. It's a summation process. 0, 1, 1, 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 1 is 3, 3 and 2 is 5, 5 and 3 is 8, and so on. 21, 55, 89, 144, 233. Why am I saying this? Because it's important. Lots of traders down here like looking at 13, 21, and 55 with their moving averages. I know stock guys are the 50-day to 200-day, but trust me, you can really tell a fixed income technician when you see moving averages that match up there. Now, I invented a trick many years ago. I'm a big Gann follower, and I remember when the Kansas City Stock Exchange opened in the 80s, they were giving out Gann rulers. It's just a fancy ruler that had a bunch of holes in it for your pen, and it had all the different retracement angles. Well, that gets a bit cumbersome, so I invented something called high-low perpendicular midpoint. And here's the way it goes, and I'll show you why it's important. Okay, let's say you have a chart pattern that kind of looks like that, okay? And you're trying to gauge where it's going to go next. One trick that always worked for me is you take the high of any move, time is relative, you take the low of any significant move. You connect them with a line. You find the midpoint and you draw a perpendicular line. And what tends to happen is when the markets retrace, this zone ends up being important. Now think about how this works. You can keep doing this. So as the market moves, you constantly get an indication of where it may go in the future. So remember, high, low, connect. How Spain has come back. Now, Spain is still down 26% for the year, but it has rocketed back 8% during the course of the week. And let's have a look at the effect on the Spanish bond market. Excuse me, of what's been going on, and you will see that we continue to fall during the course of the session or during the course of the week.
One more point here. There it is. I'm bringing one to break even. Oh, we got our target. Okay. So 64 is your stop. All right, we got one. And 12,481's our target. We just got a total of 10 points on trade. Stop comes to break even. Your second contract now should be at break even. 12,473. We're looking for 481.
This is where we are on the top 50 blue chips in Europe. It's the yellow line. You will see that we have been falling on both of those, and you know that the European markets have massively underperformed the top blue chips here in Europe, in the United States. But just watch here how you are getting
Bring your stop to 68.
higher highs in Europe. Only a stupid person would suggest that that, of course, was the boss.
Get a couple of points here on this last contract at least. I'll make it 5. 5 points.
You know, Carl, we saw equities begin to pair those losses right around the time the wholesale inventory
471.
then actually move into
I'll take 5 on this this contract.
began making those comments. He did say
We got 7.
no one's interest for Greece to leave the Eurozone, that they should in fact stay put, and that European leaders need to do their best to make and take some decisive action moving forward. The markets liked it, moved a little bit higher, and